Hello, everyone. You're watching Valley Homes on TV, which airs on Channel 26, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:30 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. I'm Debbie Giordano, your host for today, along with Todd Flesner, our other host, and
hey, Deb,
with Stern Mortgage. How are you?
Terrific.
We've got a terrific show today. Would you like to introduce our guest?
I'd be happy to. We're actually standing out here in the park in front of one of the art pieces, one of the public art pieces, and it's our pleasure to have Larry Velger with us today.
Got that
Larry
right.
is part of the Milpitas Alliance for the Arts. So we're going to learn a little bit more about what's been going on in the art scene here in Milpitas, the work they've been up to, and maybe a little bit more about this piece is behind us.
Well, welcome, Larry. We're actually in Hillcrest Park, if I
Yes, that's
understand
correct.
that. Yes, and this is one of the art pieces that was installed in 2004.
2004. Yes, that's correct.
It was. Well, let's start with you.
Okay.
I've known you a long time. So how long have you been in the city of Milpitas?
We moved to Milpitas in 1987. One of the reasons was it was close to my wife's work. She worked for the city at the time. And once we found a home here that we liked and up against the hills, we decided to move to Milpitas.
Awesome.
And really have enjoyed living
And
here.
you've raised a couple kids here, too.
Yes, that's true. They went to, elementary school here, high school here.
Wow.
And are still living here, actually.
They are, and
Yes.
you are. So obviously,
Yes.
Milpitas is still a great place to be.
Oh, it's home.
It's home. That's
Yes.
terrific. So let's see. Oh, and then you talked about why you chose to live here. Your wife had worked, and you love the hills and
Yes.
probably
Yes.
the community.
Well, once we moved in, we didn't realize how nice it was to live in a smaller community. We came from the Fremont area, and moving to Milpitas, it was smaller, and we were able to get more involved in the community.
And you are involved. Very
Yeah.
involved. Yes.
Well, terrific. Let's talk a little bit about that involvement, and it has to do with the Alliance for the Arts. Can you tell folks a little bit more about what the Alliance for the Arts are, and what are they trying to accomplish?
Sure. The goal for the Alliance is to promote and support both the visual and performing arts here in the city of Milpitas. It's a nonprofit organization. We were established in 1998. Julie Cherry and myself established the organization as a result of our children were part of Rainbow Theater. And at the time, we were hoping to create like a performing arts center or something because of the additional capacity that was needed. We soon found out that it was probably a better idea to get the audience involved first and then build something rather than build something and expect an audience to fill it. So in the meantime, we've worked on a lot of various projects, one of which is our Art in the Park project, which this is an example of.
Yes.
We have...
Is this your first project, Larry? Or
No, the first one was at Al Augustine Park. I think that was in 2001 when they renovated the park. We put the first Art in the Park project in. It was funded through a grant with the Arts Council and the Packard Foundation. And so it started a project for us to start building art projects in all the local parks here in Milpitas.
Terrific. Well, I think we have some photos of some of the other art projects around town. But how many of these art projects do you have in place now?
There's 5 altogether. There's the first one was Al Augustine Park, and it's the Sundial. It was by Dan Snyder. The second park was Murphy Park, which is right down the road from here. And that project was called The Legends of Milpitas, and the artist was Vicki Joel Sewell. Next came Hillcrest, where we did this one, which is called Hand and Hand Around the Park. Our fourth project was...
The Pines, I think.
No, it was Starlight Park.
Starlight, okay.
And we did Starscape Bench there, a mosaic bench. And then finally was the Pines.
With
Yes.
the hanging trees. Something.
Yes, it's all recycled materials. It was by Bill Gould.
Yeah, that's very
And it's real nice. It's right next to Pearl's Anchor School, and the kids from the school helped, put it together.
Well, I understand a lot of the projects have had community involvement, particularly this one here that we're standing in front of. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, this one, what was really exciting about doing this project was that we got the kids from the neighborhood involved. Elena Lawson and her husband Jim were our community liaison, and they got all the kids from the neighborhood to come down, and we had a couple sessions where they actually created their own tiles, which later the artists came and affixed. They also created little handprints that you can see throughout the piece, and they were affixed.
When I was a kid growing up, when my dad poured cement, we got to put our hands in the cement
Right.
and memorialize that. So the kids get to look at what their craft is.
So you can come back years later and
Later.
say, oh, I did this when I was 6 years old, and
That-
point it out to your own kids.
That's terrific. I love that idea. I
So.
didn't know that was part of the process. So.
And then the artists, of course, filled in between and did some of their own artwork and created the sculpture. It was really nice. Plus, we had some help from a local company, Dryco Construction, who helped pour the foundation and took care of that for us and made this a possibility.
Let me ask you. I know the Lions for you have a luncheon coming up. Is that a fundraiser? And then where
do.
do you get your funding from? Actually?
Well, funding comes from various sources. We do, every other year we have a fundraiser, usually a gala event that we sell tickets to and raise funds. Our tea that comes up next week, May 12th, is also a fundraiser for us. Sometimes we make a lot, sometimes we make a little, but it helps. We also do grants. We try and get grants. Arts Council, Hewlett-Packard have been some of them, and local companies have been generous enough to donate.
Terrific. Well, now, when you're looking for art pieces, how do you go through that selection process?
It's a fun process. We have somebody who sends our RFPs out, requests for qualifications, to various artists. And if they're interested in proposing something for the bid, they'll send us samples of their work. We bring it together to the people here in the community, and we let the neighbors go through and pick out their 3 favorite artists based on past work. Then we ask those artists to put together a mock-up of a model for something specific for that park based on what the neighbors in the area say they'd like. If they'd like something functional, they'd like something that can be sat on. If they'd like something that's recycled, various projects.
Well, I know in the past I've seen some of the competing projects, and it's very difficult
yeah.
to make a decision. How about you personally? What do you like in terms of art, and how did you bring your skill set or your passion for art into the program?
Well, every project has something about it that is memorable and special. So it's hard to pick a favorite. I think my favorite part of the process is the involvement of the neighbors. So any project such as this one where the kids got involved, or the one next to Pearl's Anchor Elementary where the kids helped string the recycled materials, those projects are my favorite.
The art is an important part of making our community a little bit special and personalizing Milpitas. How can folks who might be interested in participating get involved in the Alliance?
The Alliance is a nonprofit organization. We do have a board of directors, which we're always looking for board members and volunteers that are willing to help. Like I said, we have a semi-annual fundraising event, which helps if you can support the arts in that way. And really, our goal is to support the arts in general in the city of Milpitas. So people that are interested in supporting programs like Rainbow Theater or the dance programs at the high school, anything of that nature meets our goal of what we want.
Well, Larry, you also wear a number of hats in the community, and I know you serve on the Arts Commission, or it's the Public Art Committee.
Public Art Committee, correct.
And tell us a little bit about that. Recently chair, is that? Or
Yes, I was recently elected the chair of the Public Art Committee.
So let's go ahead and talk about that other art stuff that you've got running. Although we need money for that project. But anyway,
yes.
So tell us a little bit about the Public Art Committee.
So the Public Art Committee is made up of 3 members from the Alliance and then the actual Arts Commission. So there's a number of members, and we also focus on doing public art throughout the city, but not necessarily in a park. It could be like at City Hall, in front of the new library.
Which, let's talk about that one. You've got a new maybe project in front of City Hall that you're looking into.
Well, yes, we went out and we got the artists, somewhat the same program, and selecting artists, and got 3 models that we've shown around the city and stuff. Unfortunately, with these tough economic times, it looks like it may be a little difficult in selecting and getting something to move forward right now. But we know we have the projects. We have a favorite, and so I'm hoping that we can move forward with it, and then hopefully take the cartwheel kids that are there currently and maybe move them in front of the library where they might be a little more appropriate size-wise.
Excellent.
Terrific. Well, why is it you think that art in promoting the arts is important to our community?
Well, I feel very strongly that art identifies your culture and it preserves the culture. When you think about certain cultures, the Greeks, the Romans, what do we remember about those cultures? A lot of it is through the arts that's preserved throughout the years. Even when we talk contemporary, when we talk about the 60s or the 70s, we think of the way they dress, the music they listened to, the kind of plays that were written at those points, pop art, Andy Warhol. And so it really does preserve your culture and when you grew up. And so I think it's important that we keep doing that.
Larry, I'm going to put you on the spot. Name your number one favorite piece.
Art in the Park piece? Okay.
Numero uno.
Yeah, that is. I'll name my favorite Art in the Park piece, which is probably the green tree at Pinewood, because of the recycled materials. I think it's really
That was
extraordinary.
clever, wasn't it?
Yeah, very extraordinary.
Yeah, very extraordinary.
Terrific. Why don't you talk a little bit about maybe some of your goals or some of the projects you have on the horizon here?
Well, like I said, it's a tough time economically. And I kind of feel that when it comes to public art, it's something that we can tighten up our belts right now, take a breather, and, when times are better, maybe we'll be able to do some more projects. In terms of the other arts, what I really feel bad for is programs that where our youth are participating, because you only have a limited amount of time when you're growing
You
up.
might be referring to Rainbow Theater.
Well, that's
You're a former-
Rainbow
Please
Theater
sit down.
parent.
That's a
Yeah.
little plug.
The kids,
I hear you.
they're only 8 to 18 that they can be involved in a program.
or exposed to those type of cultural
Right.
types of events.
And if you lose 3 or 4 years of those times, you lose a lot in terms of your cultural development. And the families, it's a tough time for them too, and they're not able to afford the piano lessons and the dance lessons right now. So anything that we can do, the government, the cities.
Might be nice is to maybe get that more infused into the school system too.
Exactly.
It's probably a place where it could benefit the youth even more.
Exactly. So, supporting the school bond, for example, could help support the cultural arts programs in the schools.
I know that's for structural, but anyway, that's okay.
But if they spend that money on structural, then maybe they have some other money in the budget to help support the arts.
So. I think we're probably getting close to 2 minutes to go, but I think what we'll end up doing at the end of this segment is put on a contact information.
Okay.
Do you mind giving out, Larry, to the viewers, if they're interested in the Alliance for the Arts and would like to help out, be a part of your board, or fundraising, whom may they contact?
They can contact me. I'll give you my phone number. It's area code 408-942-6960, or my email address, which is lvelger, spelled V as in Victor, OELLGER @AOL.com.
Excellent.
Terrific. Well, Larry, thank you to you and your folks associated with you, the Alliance for the Arts, for helping to preserve our history here in Milpitas, bring it to life through the Art in the Park project, and the other things that you guys help to support.
Larry, before we go, I have a little gift for you for being our guest on Valley Homes on TV. We have a little T-shirt here. It's got our logo on it that you can wear in pride.
Thank you, Debbie.
For being a guest, and we thank you for your time.
I'd be happy
and
to do that.
Yeah, great. Good. Thank you very much for your
Thanks.
time.
Behind the wheel, there is no such thing as a small distraction. A public service reminder from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, who would rather help keep your bones strong then put them back together. Speak out against distracted driving at decidetodrive.org.
Hello, everyone. We're now back with Valley Homes on TV. You've tuned into Channel 26, where you can see Todd and myself on our show on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:30 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. I'm Debbie Giordano, your host. I'm going to give you some information for our April wrap-up that we do on our program. I hope you enjoyed the shows that we've aired for the month of April. We taped a segment for Veterans Commission, which is Juan Simano, and he gave a great insight as to what the veterans are doing locally here in the city of Milpitas and how they're outreaching to the community. And then we really enjoyed meeting Carol Kassab, the CEO of the Chamber of Commerce, out at the Wednesday night food truck display that they have out at the Great Lots on Sarah Way in Milpitas. So that was a really fun show. So what I'm here to talk about with you would be where we are today in terms of value. I think that's the greatest question people have that are homeowners or that want to be prospective homeowners is, what is your home worth? In fact, the San Jose Mercury on April 7th this year put a great article about what your home is worth. And there's so many different variables that go into evaluating the worth of that home. Of course, on our show, we talk about how important it is to have a viable community supporting the value of your home. And we do that as we go through and seek folks to be on our show with Valley Homes on TV and talk about the assets and the value it is to be part of the Milpitas community and what that means to a homeowner or prospective homeowner here in our city. But there's real estate sites like Zillow.com. I've had many of my clients talk about that site. You need to be very careful when you're logging into specific sites and trying to find the value of your home. What they do is they really don't determine the other amenities that go with home value, like the schools, the value of the school situation, the location of the home. Location, location, location. Those are the three variables that never change in the real estate industry. And Zillow does not factor in the locations of particular properties in determining that value. So that's something you want to be careful about. So you need to, in my opinion, and the San Jose Mercury concurs, they say you need to enlist the aid of a professional appraiser, or if you're considering, selling your home, you probably want to talk to a real estate broker. So the value is what really, really matters in today's market. So let's look at what's going on with the city of Milpitas in terms of value over the past year. When I look at the stats for March 2011, and I look at single-family homes, the average price in that time period for a home in Milpitas was $507,479, and the median price was $436,000. Let's look at today. March 2012, these are hot off the press. We have an average price today of $531,239 and a median price of $460,000. To me, that's really, really exciting. What it shows is that we definitely have a recovery in the housing market. There's been a pickup, and these numbers actually point to that recovery, particularly here in our city. And so those are really important things to watch when you're timing what you want to do in terms of putting your home on the market or looking at refinancing the home. And Todd will be with us next time to speak about those issues in terms of financing and refinancing and where interest rates are. And of course, they're very favorable right now, and it's a terrific time to do either or, purchase a new home or refinance your home. So the condominium and townhouse market, that's been kind of interesting. We've talked about that over the year too. Let's look at March 2012. At that time, a year ago, in that time period, an average condo or townhouse was $302,895, and the median price was $226,000. Today's numbers for March 2012, say that the average price is $292,598, and the median price is $245,000. So it's actually a small drop in the average price, and a bump in the median price. And remember, those are calculated. The average price and the median price are calculated a little bit differently with each number stream that the San Jose Real Estate Board looks at their numbers with. But generally, it's been pretty level. What I predict, and we'll see if this is true again, is that we're also going to see an uptick in that market also that will follow the lead of the single-family home market, leading the way for a recovery. So that's soon to come in that market. I'm going to close for now, and it's been my pleasure to bring Valley Homes on TV to you for the month of April. We'll be seeing you next week. Actually, we're going out to a preschool, a local Calaveras Montessori preschool here in Milpitas to look at another amenity of our city, which are great preschools that we have here in the city to offer childcare and daycare for young children and also their education. So we'll be delivering that to you on our show in a couple weeks. And we have, interestingly enough, a member of the Alliance for the Arts, Larry Volger, will be meeting us out at one of the art projects at Hillcrest Park and describing how they came to get that art project in the city. And, you know, art is a huge asset, becoming a great commodity in our city that we've taken a lead in doing more of those projects to beautify Milpitas. So it's a great place to live, work, and play, the city of Milpitas. And if you have any questions or would like to get some more information here on the show, please email me at giordanodj@aol.com. And I'll be closing for now. Thank you very, very much for watching Valley Homes on TV. We'll see you real soon. Thanks.